Singleton puppies, a litter with one puppy or maybe a litter with just two puppies. So they can be problematic, and I want to talk about that. The reason I brought this up on this video is because I just ran into this problem. Been doing this for a long time. Haven't had a small litter like this in a long time. Had one and had some problems with it, so I want to go over what can go wrong, what you can be aware of, and what you can do to avoid having problems with the singleton puppy. All right. So, of course, single puppy, what went wrong? Why did you get this singleton puppy? Well, it's probably a timing issue. Probably that you didn't AI on the right date, we didn't mate the right date, maybe the quality of the semen wasn't very good, maybe your technique wasn't right, maybe the semen quality was poor. Those would all affect litter size, and you can end up with a single puppy. The big problem with this is that if you got your timing wrong and you AI'd early or late, the puppies then show up late or early. So in our situation, it's a first-time mama. She's a year and a half old. So that is one thing that can produce small litters, first-time mums. Don't recommend that you breed dogs until they're at least a year old because you're very likely not have litters or have small litters. And the other one is if you AI wrong, which we did in this case, then remember that the date that the whelp starts is all to do with ovulation and got nothing to do with when you did the AI. If you do the AI early, then it looks like the puppies are coming late and you get a small litter. If you AI late, then the puppies come early and you get a small litter. That's what happened to us. So we had been watching this girl. We thought we had another 3 or 4 days to go. Her temperature hadn't dropped. She was still eating food. She was playing. She wasn't showing any signs that she was about to be anywhere close to having puppies. I checked on her at 11 o'clock that night. Lo and behold, she's having contractions. So there you go. They got supposed to know what I'm doing. Caught my pants down. Mad rush off to the vet to have a C-section done. We had the C-section and the puppy was okay. But really close to screwing this up completely. So not only do you get a small litter, which sucks, you also maybe go through a C-section for a dead puppy because you got things wrong. Not good, right? So, by the way, that has prompted us for a new rule in the chopping house, and that is all dogs will be in the kitchen at least a week before expected whelp date so we can monitor what's going on. We have cameras on them, we have bedroom doors open at night, we have newspaper in their crates so we can hear their nesting. All the things that we should have done in this case that would have stopped this mistake from happening. So, this one is you got your timing wrong, and because of that, now you get your whelp timing wrong. And the big one on this is that puppies can go long. Small litters, one puppy, don't give very good signals to mum about what's going on internally, and she then has those puppies late. So what happens is that everybody's in a panic mode. Why isn't the puppy come? Why isn't the puppy come? The next thing you know is you have a C-section done to find out that you did it prematurely. That puppy wasn't actually ready. So you've got to be very careful on that. And I have had that one happen to me. I had a litter, that's probably 20 years ago. There's 3 puppies in it, and they came late, and finally we decided we were going to take the puppies, but gesture level wasn't low enough, the behavior wasn't saying she was ready, but I elected to have the C-section done. 3 premature puppies, 2 of them died, 1 survived. My mistake. So there you go. There's me doing that a long time ago, not made that mistake again. But you can make that mistake. And if you haven't made that mistake, it's definitely in your wheelhouse that you'll make it. And remember that, and I'm not knocking vets here, but a lot of them are not really experienced about this C-section early situation where you end up with premature puppies. And I literally talking to a customer every week about somebody's got into a problem with exactly that problem. So anyway, timing issues is what can cause this problem in the first place as far as getting the puppies at the wrong time. Right, so the next thing that happened to us was because it was a single puppy, I asked the vet, so are we going to give a shot of oxytocin? Oxytocin is a shot that you give that helps, it's a smooth muscle contractor. It helps squeeze the uterus down to eject any muck out of the uterus. And it helps with milk letdown. And it also helps with increasing contractions if you're having natural delivery. We elected not to do it because she said, there wasn't much muck inside her. I don't think we need to give her oxytocin. I think that was a mistake. I was part of that process. It wasn't like I'm blaming the vet because she asked me and I listened to her and I said, no, let's not do it. Let's not do it. Her milk sucked. milk letdown was no good. She didn't have milk that was worth a diddly for the first few days. So that then presents another problem with puppies not getting enough nourishment. So how do you combat that? Well, first off, I think I'd always give an oxytocin shot. I don't think there's a reason not to give an oxytocin shot. That's the first thing. If you have a natural birth because you got caught with this happening in the middle of the night, you probably don't have any oxytocin. And you don't want to give an oxytocin shot 8 hours after delivery. It needs to be done right after delivery or while contractions are going on. So I can see where you get a situation that you wouldn't have oxytocin and you wouldn't give it. Anyway, but because we didn't give oxytocin, we didn't get good milk let down, what do? Goat's milk. Have goat's milk on hand, either bottle feed or tube feed. Either of those two work fine. Weigh your puppies. If they're not gaining weight after the first day, then you've got to question what's going on, and you step in, and again, goat's milk. So the next problem is milk production. So not good milk production. Is there things that you can do about this? And the answer is yes. There's two things that you can do to help milk production. If you don't have enough milk, more calories. If you don't have enough milk, give fenugreek seed. I'll put a picture up of it. The dosage is 10 to 20 milligrams per pound of body weight. It's a pill, capsule, or it's a powder. It's pretty safe stuff. Can give an upset stomach. It can give diarrhea. I'd start off with 10 milligrams a pound to start with. And this is a daily dosage. And then ramp that up to 20 as the next few days go on and see if it helps in milk production. Okay, so then the other problem is too much milk. Too much milk, how do you combat that? Express it by hand cut back on calories. Those are the things that you can do to help reduce milk production. And be aware of that this can then lead into this swimmer syndrome puppy. No pressure from any other puppies to compete having milk. Mum has lots of milk. They get very lazy. The next thing you know, their back legs are hanging out behind them all the time. They don't get up on the back legs. They develop a flat chest. They start to have breathing issues, and you can lose a puppy over this. So be aware of swimmer syndrome. The solution to this is very simple. When their eyes are open, they start to move around properly. If they're not getting up on their back legs, take their back legs up. You will be amazed how quickly this will fix a problem. But be aware of that, because if too much milk, sounds great. Puppies aren't draining her enough. They get swimmer syndrome. Then mum gets mastitis. She gets buildup of milk in her boobs. Next thing she knows, she gets an abscess and she gets an infected teat or teats. And then you can get a high temperature and you can even lose mama over this. So be aware of that. Mastitis is potentially coming down the road with too much milk and not enough puppies to drink it. Okay. Nursing problems. In our situation, new mum, only one puppy, not a lot of crawling around and squeaking going on for her to realize what her job is. So she's slow to be a good mum. She's being nice to the dog. That's not a problem, but she kind of lays around and doesn't make an effort to get her babies in around her to nurse. So, the puppy has been slow to put weight on, and I think it's because she is not doing a really good job as being a mum yet. She doesn't know what to do, and she doesn't have a lot of puppies that are demanding her attention. So what do you do in this situation? We have a crate. The crate has a cover on it. We have a camera in there. We get mum laid over on her side. If she doesn't want to get down, we keep on putting her back on her side, putting a puppy on a teat, and closing everything up, making it quiet, watching the camera. She gets up, we open the crate up, we lay her back on her side, put the puppy on the teat, and we close everything up, and we watch the camera. And we keep doing that until she gets the idea that we are not going to frickin' leave her alone until she lets that puppy nurse. That will work. But if you just don't do anything, she'll be lackadaisical about it, and then the puppy's not, you still got you're getting this downhill spiral that you don't want to be in. So make her behave the way you want to behave, show her how to behave, reinforce the good behavior, and then she will probably within 24, 48 hours be a much better mother. You don't want to get in a situation where she basically rejects the mother and you are having to do the baby and you're doing the job of the mother, because that one, I can tell you, sucks. That one is a sleepless nights for the next 10 days and your life's going to be miserable. Financial burden. Bet you have a nice litter of puppies, make some good coin, pay for everything. The next thing you did is you bought a trip 2 months ago to go on a vacation after these puppies were born, a couple of months after they're born, And now there is no money in this. You know, you've had a C-section, you've got all the expenses, you've got to spend all the time for a single puppy, and there's not much financial coin left at the end of it. So here is my advice to you. Do not spend money that you don't have in the bank already. But this is called counting your chickens before they hatch. Be careful, right? It's much better to pay for things with money that you have than money that you anticipate in getting, because that one can get you in trouble. And we don't want you to be in trouble. We want you to have fun with this. But remember, you are going to have big litters. And you're also going to have no-shows and small litters. It's just the nature of the beast. So, you know, be careful. Don't overextend yourself with future value, spending it early. That's the James Chopping lectures for you. Okay, right. Okay. Next heat. Do we breed her again? Is this the end of it? Is this what she's going to do from here on out? If it's an older dog, could well be. Could well be that she's saying, hey, from now up, I'm having one puppy or no puppies. Time to retirement. Fine, no problem. A young dog like Sophia with her litter, no, this is our fault. So first off, first-time mums who are not much over a year old, they're harder to get bred. I don't breed dogs that are the AKC has nothing. The AKC says that you can breed a dog that's 7 months old. I mean, that's crazy. So don't breed dogs that are less than a year old, because you're probably going to have small litters. You're not going to like the results, and mum may not be very good. So, but learn from what happened so you adjust what you do next time, right? You know, reinforce your successes and repeat them. But when you have a failure, don't just go off in a corner and cry. Find out what you did wrong and do something different next time, and it will work wonders. Remember, life is full of failures. Most of them are not disasters, but regardless of what they are all learning opportunities, right? If you think that it's all going to be successes from here on out, you are severely delusional, and you're the luckiest person in the whole world, because I can tell you, for Tammy and myself, it's all little successes and it's plenty of failures, and the failures probably teach you more than the successes do. All right, so remember, for our situation, dog needs to be in the house at least a week before whelp, so we know what's going on. Number two is we're always from now on going to start giving oxytocin. Number three is that we're probably going to have fenugreek on hand. We always have goat's milk on hand. Number four is to make mum do what she's supposed to do so she becomes a good mother. Show her how to do it. Don't spend the money before it shows up. And the next heat will probably be fine. When will the next heat be? Small litters do not affect the cycle. It doesn't mean because you had a small litter that your short cycle will come in sooner or later. Most dogs, it's about 6 months between cycles. You took 2 months that she was pregnant, so you've got 4 more months before you'd expect to go back and heat again, before you try this again, if you're not going to give her a rest. Should you give her a rest? That is an ethical, I've got videos on this, so we're not going to go into the details here, but that really depends on the last litter, how successful it was, how quickly mum bounced back, if you had fun with it, whether you found homes for the puppies, all would all affect whether you're going to back-to-back breed or give her a rest. And then the other thing I want to talk about here is that you know, the behavior in small puppies can be different. Their socialization is different. They don't have other puppies to play around. Their relationship with mum can be different. Just be aware of those things, because it can affect the way that these puppies grow up. Watch out for that swimmer syndrome, because that's a real thing that can actually happen. And you know, be very careful about taking puppies early. Premature puppies, they need oxygen, they need incubators, they need tube feeding, they need a lot of care to get them to the point where they're okay. And it may take you a solid week of that. If you take puppies early or puppy early, it can have bad consequences. Hope that was helpful. You're going to make this mistake. It's going to happen. Be prepared for it, because you can weather your way through it if you know what happened, if you know what to do. It'll make a big difference on the outcome. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later.